The PSL is kicking off this weekend along with the Currie Cup, so there is going to be a ton of sport to watch this weekend. There are going to be 8 PSL games. Now Sport24 editor Garrett and chief writer Rob are joining me at this roundtable to let us know what they expect to be the highlights, just in case you can't catch all 8. Hello.
Hi, Jen.
How are you guys?
Very well,
good,
thanks.
thank you.
Good. So 8 PSL games this weekend along with the 4 Currie Cup, so it's going to be a little bit crazy.
Correct. Bumper weekend of sport.
Yeah.
You know, a sport lover's dream weekend. You're right.
All right, so we can't go through all 8 games because we'd be here all day, but what do you expect to be the highlights?
Yeah, you know, interesting matchups first weekend, you know, of the PSL season. Not too sure what to expect. You know, obviously we know Sundowns are the defending champions. They're actually in action in the very first game of the weekend. On Friday night, they take on Mamelodi United. Then we have Kaizer Chiefs finishing as runners-up last season. They're in action on Saturday. Then we had Wits sort of surprising everyone, finishing third ahead of Pirates. So, you know, a lot to play for at the top of the table. We've got 16 teams in the PSL, so a full 8 matches of action this weekend. For me, the highlight, I think, is the SuperSport United versus Wits game. You know, the common denominator there is Gavin Hunt, the coach of Wits. He was the coach of SuperSport United, signed a big contract to take over at Wits. There's been talk of him perhaps being the ideal choice as the Bafana coach, but anyhow, he didn't get that job. So he's in charge of Wits, the clever boys, if you like. You know, they're taking on SuperSport. I think SuperSport was also right in the top half of the league last year. So, you know, you want to get the season off to a good start. Wits away from home. You know, I'm going to go for the draw in that game. I think there's just, you know, the teams are very evenly matched. So I see them getting off to a stalemate, if you like. And then, Rob, you know, for me, Pirates are the favourites for the title this season. You know, like I said, they finished 4th last year, which probably wasn't ideal for them. But you know, I see them having too much for the rest of the teams. They already banked the Carling Black Label Cup titles, so they've got 1 trophy in the cabinet. So I'm going to put my colours to the master of the Buccaneers this year.
Rob?
I'm leaning, I suppose, towards their great rivals, Chiefs, just a little bit. I think that they're going through they're heading for quite a nice little stable period potentially. Stuart Baxter now, he'll be starting his third season in charge. You know, at PSL clubs, some coaches have sort of notoriously short lives, and by his own admission, he learnt by some of the mistakes they made last season. Let's not forget the Chiefs got off to a bit of a flyer last year and looked as though, for all money, as if they were going to be champions. And then as the season just progressed, they seem to just lose the plot a little bit. And I don't think that will necessarily happen again. So I think Chiefs will be right up there. I have to agree that Pirates last season obviously distracted a lot by being involved in so many cups, and of course CAF Champions League, where they got all the way to the final. That was quite a debilitating sort of thing for them in a sense. So in some ways they might quite like the fact this year that although they'll obviously be targeting, you know, lots of cup glory again as well, they might be thinking, well, let's try and hang in there and do well in the PSL this time and make that a little bit of a core focus. I think it's wide open. I think there's plenty of possibilities. The game that I'm quite interested in the opening round is Sundowns as the defending champions, starting at Loftus against Mamelodi United. Last season they had to scrap out an equaliser in injury time, if I remember correctly, for a 2-2 draw at Loftus against Maritzburg, so it shows that they're not necessarily the easiest of foes. But I think this time Sundowns will get it right and get off to a pretty good start as defending champions, and perhaps win by a goal or 2 against Maritzburg United.
All right, well, we'll have more to speak about after we see all 8 games. So I'll see you guys back in here on Monday. Garen, for anyone who's at the games, want to share photos, or anyone who's not at the games and they want to see some live updates, how can they do that?
Sure, you know, head over to sport24.co.za. We'll have all the action there for you on both Friday, Saturday and Sunday this weekend. And if you're at any of the matches, please send through your pictures to mysport@sport24.co.za.